Hey gals, it's Elizabeth Ellis. I hope everything is going well with you. First, let me say thank you so much for those of you who wrote back to me. I heard back from actually almost all of you, which is a lot of people. I heard back from a lot of you appreciating not only that I'm sharing information, but also the content of the last video I sent yesterday. And so most of you said you wanted to hear more. So I definitely want to continue forward. Remember, I talked about how I went to Empower You. It was, I can't stop talking about it. Like, it was genuinely amazing. And so, Chantel Schreier, and again, if you have not followed her on Facebook, you definitely should. Chantel Schreier, I think it's Shreyer, Schreier. She talked about the 7 things to be successful, how 7 ways to become successful. And step 1 was to believe you can, and I talked about that yesterday. Step 2 and 3 are what I want to talk about today because they go hand in hand, especially with step 1. What I appreciated most about being at Empower You was not the intellectual knowledge like that I got, the product knowledge. I really appreciated the time to like sit and think about myself, think about how to do some self-reflection, how to do some thinking and growing self-growth. Like, I didn't realize, I thought when I signed up for Unique, I was going to sell mascara. That's not it. Like, it's not only it. It's much more than that. Okay, step 2. Step 2 to being successful, she talked about being vulnerable. I hate the word vulnerable because when I hear the word vulnerable, like my friends here at work, they would tell you, like, I just can't stand vulnerable because when I hear vulnerable, I think crying. And I'm a hot mess. Like, I'm a sympathy crier too. If somebody else is crying, I'm absolutely crying. And I don't really like crying that much. Like, I prefer to be happy. But I hear her. I wasn't just listening, I was hearing. She said, be vulnerable. Vulnerability, it sounds like truth and it feels like courage. And I was like, oh, well, that's not crying. That's not crying at all. That's just like when I feel vulnerable, I'm going to put myself out there. Much like I do with my videos that I make here on Facebook, much like I do when I have conversations with people that are really, they can be challenging for me and I feel like really itchy about them. But being able to put myself out there, that is the truth, and it does feel like courage. And being vulnerable also means to let go of the expectations that others have on you. Because guess what? It's not their life. They don't dictate how you live. You do that, right? And I heard that. The third step, she said, and this is where I'm going to wrap it up, or this is the last step I'm going to talk about. She talks about fostering self-love. And remember, the first one was to believe you can and have that unwavering belief. So when she started talking about fostering self-love, I was like, I was in it to win it, right? The most important thing that she said that really just like hit me, I was like, oh my God. When people say that, you've got so much confidence, you have your life together. You just have it all together. Everything is great in your life. You're great. No. That's not at all what's happening. But my self-love allows me to be a masterpiece and a work in progress. Think about that. Not only am I worthy, am I amazing, am I doing great things, I'm also not done. And there's also parts of me that maybe are still a work in progress. Notice how I'm mindful of my I am statements. I'm not going to drag myself down here, but I am allowed to be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. Oh my God, I loved it. So that means I don't feel guilt. That means I am impeccable to my promises to myself. You saw me check myself right there. I'm using my positive I am statements. I'm not even going to give you examples of negative ones because I'm going to speak positive to myself. I'm promising myself that. I am promising myself that self-love, and I feel like that's amazing. I'm not going to try to win at somebody else's reward system. I'm not going to play the comparison game. I'm not, even though other women, there's a lot of women that are doing a lot better than me. I'm not going to sit back and make those negative I am statements that kind of bring me down. Instead, I'm going to focus on my own self-love. I'm not playing life. I don't play games. I don't play games according to how they're living, right? I play it according to me. And me, I'm important. Love and acceptance begins with me. Do I look really corny when I do this? I don't care because I feel it. Love and acceptance, it begins with me, right? It begins with you. So one of our mission statement is to uplift, empower, and validate women. And Chantel talked about how doing those three things, she thought it meant do it to other people. Like, oh, I'm going to uplift you. I'm going to validate you. I'm going to empower you. Like, it's a very outwardly thing. It's not. When was the last time you uplifted yourself? When was the last time you empowered yourself? When was the last time you validated yourself? And that was the last part of fostering self-love, is validate yourself. If you're not going to love yourself, who else is going to? Right? You got to find a way. And remember, I talked yesterday and I gave those tips yesterday. How do you get to loving yourself? How do you get to the confidence? You find what you're grateful for. You find what's going well and what you are thankful for in your life. Put light out. It will come back to you. Goodness gracious. How are you doing on your giving shout out, being thankful on Facebook for 7 days? Are you doing well? Like, I hope you are. There's three out of 7. I'll give you a couple days to think on that. Write me back. Let me know what you think. So our 3 steps: believe you can, be vulnerable, foster self-love, right? Validate yourself. Validate yourself first and foremost. You are amazing just the way you are. You are worth it. You are more than worthy. You are enough. You offer everything. You're amazing. Let me know if you have any questions. God, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I can bring this to you and share. Write me back. Tell me what your one takeaway is, and let's have a little dialogue going. Right on.